Good evening to everyone in India and good morning to everyone in the US. Really delighted to have some esteemed colleagues from Wake Forest University School of Business with us today. Firstly, we have John White with us, who's the Executive Director under the Enrollment Management Services of the university's business school. Thank you so much, John. I know it's morning and it's cold, so thank you so much for making the time and joining us. And we also have two fantastic alum. I've seen their profiles on LinkedIn and the kind of work they're doing after completing their degrees, and really privileged to be talking to them and gaining information that we can pass on to prospective Indian students. So I have Jash Vachhani with me, and I have Shanay Sonawala with me, both from the School of Business of Wake Forest University. So the idea of this conversation really is getting more information from both of them. They will be sharing their study experiences, and I'm sure it's going to benefit many Indian prospective students that are looking to studying at the university's business school. So thank you again. I will come to you first, Jash. I want to know more about yourself. Where do you come from? What really motivated you to choose the program that you chose to study? So we'll start with you.
Thank you, Shruti, for that introduction. So, as you know, my name is Josh. I'm originally from Gujarat, India. I moved to the US in 2019 for my undergrad. I did my undergrad from University of Buffalo in Business Administration and Management. I did a concentration in MIS and International Business. That was a 4-year degree. And then I moved to North Carolina for my master's in Business Analytics at Wake Forest University, where I had a great time. Great program, and I cannot stop talking enough about it. But the main reason for me to choose that program was the bridge between business and data, which is the future coming forward.
Great. Thank you so much. What was about the program that really inspired you to take? I mean, yes, business and data is something that we all talk about. It's one of the most talked about programs for Indian students. But what were those one or two key points that really motivated you to choose this program?
Yeah, so a couple of those things were. First thing was the Wake Forest brand. The Wake Forest brand is underrated, and people don't understand how big an important role it plays in a student's and then an alumni's career/life. The second reason was I looked at the program structure. The main thing was it was a 10-month program, so I was not spending a lot of time doing this program. I came in quick, came out, went out. And it was like, as I said, 10 months, which made it perfect time frame I was looking for. And then I talked to a lot of people at Wake Forest at that time, and they spoke highly about the school and the faculty there. So everything added up to help me choose this program and this university.
Super. Thank you so much. I think no one more than Nimish will agree that the brand is so underrated. I'm sure if given a chance, she can go on and on about it. Thank you. Thank you, Jash. Shanay, over to you. Tell us more about yourself. What motivated you to study at the university?
Yeah. So I'm Shanay. I did my undergrad also at Wake Forest, but I did it in mechanical engineering. So I was there 4 years, and then I had an internship and then the job lined up at General Motors. But I told them I want to hold off to do this program. I want to learn more about the business side of the world and data being the future. I had to do something with that. John's known me for 6 years now, so he kind of convinced me to do this program as well. He said it really helped me align with my goals. And in the world of even engineering, this program's been a great help, and it's been making me a difference in the whole engineering field.
Okay, thank you so much. I also want to know more about your experience in terms of, the faculty, the teaching staff. We do read on the website that the teaching staff is fantastic. It's one of the best researchers in the world. But from your perspective, who has been a student, spent a substantial amount of time in the university, tell us more about the faculty, the teaching. What was your overall academic experience when you were studying this course?
Throughout undergrad also, I would say the School of Business have one of the best resources. I 2 weeks ago, I went and visited a professor after graduating. It's that kind of relationship we have with them. It's more of a friendship and like it's more like a co-worker with them being a higher seniority, and that's what they want you to treat it as. It's like a 1 year program where you learn how to be in the workforce. They are fully open for you to come visit you after hours, email them, message them, and it becomes a bond. It becomes really helpful. Even in the future, they have a lot of connections. They are honestly extremely smart at what they're doing. Hence, they're here. So they're a great building block to learn off from. They are the expert in their fields, and it was a great experience for me.
Super. Thank you so much. Jash, the same question for you. What was your overall academic experience? Anything about the faculty or study time while you were at university?
Yeah, I think Shanay covered like all of what I wanted to say, but the faculty is really experienced. They are basically in that field for 10, 15 years, and it's basically like they are senior managers, but we get to approach them anytime we want. They teach us from a business or slash a corporate standpoint, saying this is how things work in the real world, and not everything has to be theoretical. So there's a different lens they bring in to the learning program. So that was really helpful. Like there were so many things that I was frustrated of when I was doing the program, but then now that now that I'm working, it completely makes sense. So and of course they were so approachable that made it really convenient for us to learn and not hesitate to reach out if we were struggling in anything.
Okay, thank you so much. On that note, I also, Jash, again to you, want to understand your experience on using the other services that the university provides. For example, the student support center, the career services. I know these are very, very important factors for an international student when they're looking for the right study opportunities. So, can you throw some light on each of the department that you used and how helpful they were?
Yeah, sure. One of the things we didn't mention was the 1 year uh, practicum program we had, which was where we are connected with a real world client. We have to work with them for a year, which was a great experience. Also, a good transition from school to working in person. Sorry, in the real world. But one of the I would say centers was it's called the Center of Analytics, led by Professor McKean, which has been really helpful because regardless of what course we are taking, we can go there to solve problems, address any questions we have, etc. One of the most helpful centers which I took advantage of was the Career Resource Center, which was led by Sally at that time. I found my job from there. She actually connected me with Matt, who introduced me to this position, and then I ended up applying, getting that position. But they are so personalized. Like they take so much personal care of you that they know individually who is at what position in their job search, etc. So that personalized attention was really helpful when I was doing things, because if I was slacking, Sally would come up to me and say, "Hey Josh, we haven't had a meeting since 2 weeks now. How about we meet now?" etc. etc. That was really helpful. And something which was underrated was the International Student Service Center, which was not exactly part of the program, but it is of course a resource for any international student. I would go to them every week with like 100 questions every time, and they would be open and like willing to help me every time. And they were really helpful because that the whole complication of if I get a job, if I don't get a job, etc. So everything worked out perfectly. And then all those different centers work combinedly to help me get to the position I'm at right now.
Fantastic. I think career being such an important aspect of every student, when you receive that extra mile of service from the careers department or anyone in the international center, I'm sure that's very, very valuable. I want to go to Shanay with a similar question because you have done both your grad and your undergrad at the university. What were the university resources that came to your maximum use during study time?
So during study time, the School of Business is only accessible to the business school students. So they have their own classrooms, they have their own career center. You can go to the university's career center also. It's separate from the University of Business, but you can use both resources. The campus is fairly small. You can walk 15-20 minutes. So going to study, taking a break to go get food, come back. It was great. The gym's literally across the street from the business school as well. They have showers. You can go there in the middle of class and come back if you wanted. But I would personally say I worked as a career peer. So what that entails is I help other students get a job. It's more of us helping them network. It's very an underrated quality, especially coming from India. It's not a big term we use in India. We normally show our skills, but from the back end, we need to bring ourselves out and talk about ourselves more often. And that's what Sally, our career peer, was teaching us. We would have to get up in front of the whole class and give our pitch. And they made us leaders, and they made us more confident in ourselves, which enabled us to get our jobs. I think before coming here, I've never thought of doing any of that. I would always be in the back, like submit my resume, that's it. No, there's so much more than that. You have to show your skills, but you have to be more confident in your abilities and just keep networking, and they will keep pushing you to do that.
Okay, thank you. Before I actually move on to my next thought, I want to understand that where are your current jobs in the US, both of you?
I am in Detroit, Michigan. I'm working for General Motors, so I'm at the HQ here.
Okay. And Jash, what about you?
Yeah, I'm working in New York City at Deloitte. I'm working there as a tax consultant.
Okay. So how the university really helped you connecting with these employers? If you both can, throw your individual insights into this, I think it'll be very, very helpful for everyone in India to know about it.
Yeah, for me, Deloitte is also a corporate sponsor for Wake Forest. So, and then the practicum program I talked about, there is a project from Deloitte every year that the program has. So Deloitte and Wake Forest has a close connection, but I personally found my position through Sally and Matt when I was going through the whole process. But it was the whole, as Shanay kind of covered, it's the whole game is about networking. So it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So if you know the right person, you get directed to the right direction. So it was all about talking to people and networking to find the position I'm in right now.
And for me, mine was in the undergrad program. I did my internship then, hence it led to this. But when I was looking elsewhere as well, I went to alumni resource networking events. I went to career fairs. Jash and I went to, they helped us do an international career fair, which was separate than only being a part of an American career fair, which was really helpful as well, because they would help you, tell you if you can be sponsored, if you can't be sponsored. It's been great. They've really personalized their materials for you, and since it being a small school, they push you to do as well as you can, and it's not like you're lost in a big school where no one really knows what's happening, no one really cares about you. So that really encourages you to do really well as well.
So, I'm very delighted to hear this, because as we see on the website of the Business School of the university, networking is key. The strong connection that the university brings to prospective employers is very, very strong. And it's really, really nice to hear from both of you, because that's going to be so important for every Indian student to hear. So thanks so much for sharing that. I have a last thought before I pass it on to Nimish, because she also has some questions. How did your respective courses, help you prepare better for the challenges of, your respective industry? Because naturally, one point that both of you are emphasizing as to the practicality of the program that you learned during your 10-month tenure. So if both of you can just, very briefly tell us how how did you kind of prepare yourself for challenges? Because every time you step into the real world, there are challenges. So how do you think this particular course really helped you fill in for those challenges in advance? So we'll start with Shanay, and then we move on to Jash.
Yeah, so we both work in really large organizations. So for us, I'm sure it's hard to find our place and find like we're doing meaningful impact for the company. So what happened? My boss left for a 2 week vacation the week I joined. So now for me, I had to find myself to do work, and what I had was different than every other skill set because I came from so most people working here as an engineering background. I came in with analytical skills. So I just started meeting different people, talking to different people within my organization, and found myself doing so much impactful work like data management, data alignment, which they didn't know was possible for manufacturing. So it's about just being out there, pushing yourself. The School of Business really teaches you that you have the skills. Not everyone also has the skills. It's now how you showcase your skills, how you portray yourself out there, and that's what they really push you to do. Most large organizations, you could be hidden behind the scene. No one knows what's happening with you, and now you have to push yourself to be in the next level. And within 4 months, I've been meeting directors, showing so much about myself and what I'm doing, and it's been really helpful.
Thanks a lot, Jash. We want to hear your experience as well.
Sure. I really learned a lot of things from Wake Forest. It was either from the curriculum or something which was not mentioned on paper, but of course everyone learns from it. I think the program is a close representation of what we'd be doing in the corporate world. Yes, it is it's very technical. I'm not doing that technical work right now, but I'm going to get to that position really soon. Right now, I'm doing a lot of data visualization, and then the array of work that I have to do, more of that is already covered in the program. So the technical things are already covered. One thing which is underrated, no one talks about, is Wake Forest has its own brand, but it also helps you create your own brand. So as Shanay said, we both are in a really large organization right now, and it is really difficult to find your space. So it helps you, it teaches you how to create your own brand, which we can display here in our organizations and make our space and climb up the ladder and do whatever our action plan is for being in the position we are. There are a lot of different things. I don't remember the course name, but there was a course where we learned about business language, about things we have to do on the back end when we're working in corporate, which is really helpful for me right now because I have been getting tasks and projects where I have to particularly just focus on that, and I never learned that from any other courses or like any other place I have been. But and then when I first came through that, came across that course name, I was like, why do we need to learn that? But turns out that's all of like 90% of my job right now. So there are a lot of things the course teaches on paper and off paper, and I think there's a lot to grab. You just need to be on the side on the campus and just talk to people.
Thank you so much. You both very beautifully put across one thing, that how the university's business school really teaches you to be out there, be proactive, and kind of make your presence felt. So thank you so much. I'll pass it to Nimish. She has a few questions for both of you.
Hi Jash and hi Shanay. So I'm sure a lot of students from India must be connecting with you to know more about the universities. So can you just share the common questions that current students have for you, and what are the 3 tips that you would give them when they apply? I think we can start with Jash and then if Shanay can follow. Yeah.
Sure. Coming from India, I've had a lot of people reach out to me with questions. I don't exactly remember what they asked me, but I can tell you from my personal experience what was the biggest change, and if I had someone to tell me 5 years ago what I can do, I would tell them right now. I would say first day you land in America, have your LinkedIn profile updated and focus on it every day. Get out of your bubble slash your own cocoon and meet people, because I understand it is very comforting to talk to people from India, but at the same time you also need to get out and talk to other people, because when you once you graduate and you're working in a company, there will be a lot of people. America is really diverse. Wake Forest is really diverse. Take advantage of that. Learn from people. Everyone is different, and that is one of the biggest asset no one charges for. So that is really important. And other than that, don't take it too seriously. Have fun. It is enjoy their time here, and you'll get where you want to be.
Okay.
Yeah, Josh covered a lot of it, but a lot of the questions being asked, why Wake? And I've always been asked that. It's I would say the most underrated school out there. It's the First of all, the campus is beautiful. It's just you're in nature, you're around the mountains, you're like 2 hours from the beach, it has everything around you, and it just makes you happy every time you drive, and it's just a beautiful campus, but also the the professors care. They, compared to a bigger school, I've seen a lot of my friends go hang out with the same bubble, like Josh said, same Indian friends. No, it's very different here. This is the real world. This is business. You have to explore. You have to open yourself up to others, learn new experiences, and that's what this program's about. If you ask John, he can tell you. I don't think I said more than 10 words to him when I was coming into school, and now it's completely different. It changed me. It's changed Josh too. We're different people. We're different leaders, and that's what they groom you to. And they teach you well. They teach you to use. A lot of schools also are very shy of using AI. I would say they don't like using it, but our school wants you to use it because that's the future. They want you to use it in a good way. Motto is pro humanitate. So it's just helping everyone, helping people, and that's what they actually stand for, and they be true to it. Yeah.
Well, I completely agree with you. Coming out of bubble is the most important fact that I feel every student needs to understand. Being updated, being on LinkedIn, yes, I completely agree with you. Would you all like to share a particular memory of your time that stands out for you? So, Shanai, maybe we can just start with you and then Jash can share his memory.
Oh, we have so many memories together, not together. I would say this program in particular, um, it's a 1 year program, but I've made one of my few closest friends, such as Jash. Um, we would like it's so hardcore, it's so rigorous. They push you to work really hard, get your job, but also learn. I would say that's key. Yes, getting a job is very important, but at the end of the day, it is a master's program in business analytics. You have to learn the business side of it, the analytics side of it. Um, so it's work hard. We work all the time. We're together all the time, and you just create bonds because you're in the school from pretty much like 8 in the morning till 6, 7 in the evening, and we're studying together. Josh and I have probably a lot of late nights together in the school, trying to figure out a lot of problems, going to office hours. It was great. It's a lot of fun. It's just working together in a community that is just really nice.
Thanks, and I have similar memories, of course. But one of the best times that I remember right now, and I just keep laughing about it, is like when we weren't able to figure out things. We were struggling with writing a code, or like we weren't supposed to get like this answer, but we got it. And like we were running a simulation, and it just doesn't help. Like it's not working for us. And those times where we were like at the bottom of like it could not get any worse than that. But now when we look at outside it, it was just all fun memories we had. And like the program really because it is such a small population of people, I think you really get close to so many people. And then like Shanay said, you're always there together all day. It's like you build together. You see everyone succeed together. You see everyone, like it's like a small extended family, if you like to look at it like that. But it's just those small memories we have in class, outside of class, when we see each other outside of class and say, "Hey, this is what happens." Like, just make sure you're prepared for this code, etc. It's like that. Yeah, small things, but it's all the things we remember right now.
Thank you so much for sharing these memories with us. I know they are very precious. They always with us. So yeah, thank you so much. Shanay, I have this question particularly for you. Since you have done your undergrads and grads both from Wake Forest University, tell us more about the importance of being involved with the clubs or campus engagement for the growth and skill development.
So they have like every single club you want to be a part of. Being in such a small school, also being a D1 school, that means sports are the number one level sports. Yes, it's very hard to get onto like the football team or the soccer team or the golf team, but you can get on the club teams, you can get on the varsity team. They have a bunch of teams you can get onto and do whatever you want. There's a golf course right around campus which is voted like the 32nd best in the world. I just saw that yesterday. It's called Old Town, so it has everything in such a small area. But also, like, I was part of the Hindu Student Association, the South Asian Student Association. I was part of the golf team, undergrad. I was part of a lot. Then in the master's program, I was a student ambassador. I was part of the Career Peer organization, and there was one more thing I was part of. But at the end of the day, like, it again, you have to get out of your comfort zone. No one's telling you to, like, no one's forcing you to do it. If you don't do it, you're not going to meet different people. Jash and I didn't meet for like a month, maybe, or like 3 weeks. So after that, we started talking, and then we both Gujaratis, and you know, it all started coming together. And then we started getting dosa together. Then we found a dosa place close by, and we would go in the middle of lunchtime. So it's that kind of community. It's been great, but also like I at work, I always want to stay connected to my roots. A lot of people, I feel like, want to come but then go back eventually. But I like to be the best of both worlds. So at work, like in February, I'm going back to India to to do a week-long program at the GM Center in Bangalore. So it's that I'm trying to stick to both sides, stick to my roots, but also sticking here. It's very good. The program and makes you like stick to your roots, but also branch out, be a global leader rather than just as leader. It teaches you like you have to keep your connections worldwide, not only in one small area. And LinkedIn networking, all that kind of stuff we learned in this program. It's a game changer.
Thank you so much for answering this. This is really helpful. I'm sure a lot of students would get good tips from you. So thank you so much. So what is the top? So this question is for both of you all. What is the top advice you would give to the prospective Indian students? Since I meet a lot of Indian students, even I would like to know more about this. You can start.
Well, I would say get out of your comfort zone. That's I've been saying that this whole time, but yes, it's very big. Going to Wake Forest in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, it's very different than people from India, either one. Boston, New York, big cities, big schools. But being here actually, I feel has made me much more personable, much more better as a student, but also as a leader and in the workforce. I think if I've gone to a bigger school or gone to a bigger city with the more Indians just staying in my bubble, I would just be back home and not knowing what I want to do. So I feel being here, being stretched, being pushed to outside my limits, I have been as happy as I could ever be, and I really appreciate what the school's done for me.
Thank you so much. Jash, would you like to share your top advice as well?
Sure, I'll definitely echo Shanay's thoughts, but I would say one bold thing: don't focus on the statistics. Like, I understand there are way better schools which look like, because from the stats like, hey, 100% this, 100% that. I understand there might be a better deal out there, but some things are underrated, no one really talks about. And I feel when I was applying to Wake Forest, I think people just don't recognize the power of Wake Forest. And there are so many things you can leverage from. Like I see myself like 1 year ago, or like whenever I joined the program, like I am a really different person out of it in a good way. So I would say when you're choosing university, don't focus on the statistics, because those can be manipulated. I don't want to tell that people manipulated, but like the Wake Forest helps you build skills, helps build your brand. There's so many intangible things which will help you in the future when you're trying to get a job, trying to get your own business, whatever you're trying to achieve. Wake Forest has a resource for that. And if they're helping you do that, you don't need those statistics that the whole entire school is part of. There is much more to that. And if someone had to ask me this question, that would you have done it differently, I would have not. I would have done it differently. This is where I wanted to be, and I'm happy I did it.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And I completely agree when you say power of Wake Forest, because I also personally believe in it. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Shruti, if you have any questions.
No, none from me. Really want to thank both these young boys for taking the time out today evening. John, do you have any quick 30-second tips for our Indian students before we end this wonderful conversation?
30-second tips. I probably have 100 30-second tips. Now, this is a wonderful session today. I thank Josh and Shanay. They're both very, very dear to me. Watching them develop professionally, personally, as student leaders, as business leaders, it's just such a gratifying part of the work that we do at Wake Forest. And I think it was wonderful to hear them give voice to the things we strive for, offering a student-centric experience with great academics that, as Shanay said, do push, challenge, and develop you. Excellent career services outside the classroom. They both mentioned Sally. She's the career coach. The personalized career process, the experience, the power of the Wake Forest network, and just recognizing that, it's a wonderful experience if you choose to invest in it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. I think Nimish and I are really happy and overwhelmed with the information that all three of you have given to us. And we really, really hope that Indian students who actually go on to this video find very insightful inputs and information. I think personally for me, the key takeaway was how important is it to network and make the full use and full potential of the university, especially with the School of Business offering so much of support system for international students, whether it's career development, something as small as writing a CV or approaching the right employers. I think the business school encompasses everything. So a lot of learning for me personally through the session, and really want to thank all of you today, and hope we can bring more such insightful sessions for prospective Indian students. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you really for your time. Have a good rest of the day and rest of the evening.